Before we start making some complex programs in Python, I want to explain the concept of indentation in Python. Now, unlike other programs, indentation is absolutely critical in Python. It determines how the code is grouped together, and as you'll see in some examples now, the importance of indentation affects the way the program actually runs. So let's look at a simple example of using a for loop. Now, indentation in other programs is not as necessary as it is in Python, but you'll see shortly how important and how the whole program changes when we use indentation and when we don't use indentation, using very much the same commands. So let's use that for loop as I mentioned. So let's say for x, let's use the variable x, and let's look at the values from say 1 to 10. So for x in, and let's put in the range of 0 to 10. As you'll see, there are three options here. There's a start, stop, and there's step. For now, we'll just use the start and stop. So let's start at 0 and let's go to 10. And let's look at how this program will actually run now. And hopefully it'll show a count from 0 to 10. Now let's look at the formatting. When I hit the enter key, it's showing me the cursor at this particular point. If I then start typing at the beginning of the line, it means that it is a separate command which is outside the for loop. I have to include it at this point if I want to include it at within that for loop. So if I want to print x, and let's put in the variable x, sorry. So print x in brackets, and let's try running that program now. Let's look at the results. Now we have included print x within that for loop. So let's go in and clear, and let's do the, okay, there is an error here. There's a syntax error. Let's look at where the error has occurred. And I can see it straight away. Next to the bracket next to 10, there is a little red marking. If I hover over there, it will tell me it is expecting a colon. So in Python, I need to put a colon at the end of this line. So let's put that colon in. And now the code looks better. Let's run that program again. And let's look at the results. So Python hello.py, notice it now runs the first part of the program as it did before, and then 0 to 9. So as you can see, the for loop with the indentation of the print x works. If I did it this way, now print is outside the for loop, and let's look at what happens when we run the program this time. It tells me indent expected. So this program is actually giving us a warning that they are expecting an indentation at this point. Now I'm going to ignore that warning, and let's just show what happens when we run the program again. Notice it says here indentation error, expected an indented block. So it's telling us that the x was not recognized because it was outside the for loop. Now we need to indent that to make sure that it is in that particular loop. Otherwise, it will throw an error. As I said, in Python, it is imperative that you use the indentation well, because it will determine how the program groups the code together. If we wanted to take the indentation a bit further, we can actually define another for loop within this first for loop. And to do that, we simply use the indentation